and welcome back to Mama Needs a Goal. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're new here, welcome, welcome. So I'm sure by the thumbnail, you know what we're talking about today. So I've had a few of you ask me this same questions. One, why do you meal plan for the entire month instead of the week? Because I used to meal plan for a week and I changed it to a month. The other one is shopping in bulk really cheaper? Does it really save you money? And I'm going to talk about both of those things today because they do go hand in hand. So if you're interested, keep watching. All right, my friends, so I am going to put right up here my monthly meal plan. If you haven't already seen it, I post it every month on my Facebook page, my Twitter, my Instagram, and I also put it on the community tab of my YouTube page as well, or channel as well. I do need to put my glasses on so I can read. So what I do is when I meal plan for the month, I take my calendar, my monthly calendar, and I look at that to see who's going to be home on certain days. So a lot of times the boys aren't home on Friday nights because they go to the football games or they're hanging with their friends, and then oftentimes it's just hubby and I. So I'll make simpler dinners for just the two of us, and sometimes we just go out for dinner. So that's the first thing that I do when I meal plan for the month. The next thing that I do is I figure out what I have on hand as far as the meats go. Now, I do want to put a disclaimer out there because I do get a 6-month supply of meats through a company, and then we just pay monthly on it. But I do have like these staples. I get skinless boneless chicken breast, steak, flank steak, ground beef, and pork chops, like the boneless pork chops. And that's all that I get as far as meats go from them. They are my staples because there's other things that I'm going to be talking about that I can get cheaper at the grocery store. And there's some things that I don't care for the taste that they have. But anyway, they're my staples that I get. So I always have those on hand because I do get that. So I want to put that disclaimer out there so you do know. I'm not trying to, fool you or anything. Okay, so let's get back. So as I mentioned, I know I have those meats on hand all the time. I look at my calendar, figure out what the kids, when they're going to be home, if we have anything going on that we're not going to be home, that I don't need to make a meal for that day. Now, for instance, this month, we are hosting a little gathering, and it's like a little party, a celebration for a friend of ours. And I am going to be making quite a few dishes, and I'll be making a taco dip that has chicken in it. I'll be making a veggie tray that has different vegetables in it. So knowing that I'm doing that, I know that I'm going to be buying in bulk, and I will not be using everything that I'm buying. So I will meal plan around what I know I'm having for that party and come up with dish ideas or meal ideas that will use those leftovers or the additional stuff. So that's where I'm heading with this, and just kind of want to go over with you with that. Now, with all that said, is buying in bulk cheaper? Yes and no. So for instance, it really depends on, like, I went to Costco, and I'm gonna put a little picture up here because I did take a picture of it. They had their Italian sausage, and I think it's 14 something for their Italian sausage in bulk. However, I go to Weiss, and they always have their family pack of sausage marked down. They do it all the time. So this month I decided I wanted to have Italian sausage for dinner. So I went to Weiss, and sure enough, they had their Italian sausage marked down. I paid $9.28 for this huge pack, okay? So it was cheaper for me to buy this in bulk at Weiss, or Weiss, however you say it, than going to Costco and buy in bulk. So you really need to know your grocery stores, what they do, how they mark down, what their bulk prices are, and you need to look at the weight and the cost and determine whether it takes a little bit of tracking some things, but after about 2 months or so, you automatically know. I automatically know I am always going to get this cheaper at Weiss. It's just been like that for years and years. Also, Costco sells this already hand-pulled rotisserie chicken, and I've shared this with you guys many of times in my grocery haul for Costco. I think I paid $17.99 for this pack. I usually end up buying 2 packs oftentimes. We use this all the time. My youngest son, like I said, is just a chicken eater, so we use this all the time. I know that I'm having this party and I'm gonna be needing some shredded chicken for the taco dip, so I purchased this to use for the party. So I meal planned around this chicken as well. And another thing is the broccoli. I bought this in bulk at Costco, and I wrote this down so I'll remember the prices. I paid $5.49 for this 3-pound bag, and I'll be using a lot of this for the veggie tray, but then I'll be using it in my lunches, and then I will break it down and freeze it based on per meal for my lunches, because like I said, I'm the only one that eats broccoli, so I know how much I'll need. At the grocery store, I'll put this up here for you guys to see. Safeway had it for $2.99 for a head of broccoli, and you got to remember, you're paying for that long stem part of the broccoli too, that weight. And their 28-ounce bag, and this is a 48-ounce bag, was $5. Okay, I paid $5.49 for 48 ounces. Okay, so buying in bulk really paid off on that. There are some things that buying in bulk doesn't really pay off, but you really need to compare the prices at the store bulk versus Costco bulk, because you will see a difference. Another thing that I purchased were these sub rolls. There are 12 sub rolls here, okay? I plan to have meatball subs one day, and we're gonna have Italian sausage and peppers and onions, and we're gonna like do it in the air fryer and get it nice and crispy. Also, these are great for sandwiches, and I will buy these in bulk. I paid for 12 of those rolls, I paid $2.69 at Costco. If I went to the grocery store and bought a pack of rolls, I would pay $3.49 for 6 of them. I'm gonna show you here so you know that I'm not making these numbers up. So I'll freeze these rolls, and then when I need them, I take them out that morning and thaw them, or the night before. And it works out great. And I often, when I buy a pack of rolls at the grocery store, if we're having hamburgers or something, you know, I'll buy that pack of rolls and we'll use all but like 1 or 2. And then I have 1 or 2 and I forget to put them in the freezer. So I'll just buy this stuff in bulk, and then I'll just break it down in individual packages and freeze it. So I will be going over this meal plan with you, just so I can give you a really good idea of how you'll be able to see my thought process of how I went through and planned all this out. Okay, my friends, so I think the easiest way to do this is just putting this up on the screen in front of my face, and that way you can follow along with me. I think it'll be easier than just looking at me and me talking. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and I will go over how I actually do my meal plan. First thing I do is take out a paper and pen. And I know I have my rotisserie chicken. I know I have my Italian sausage, rolls, and broccoli, because I just purchased those. And I figured, you know what, we're gonna meal plan around a lot of those. So we start with the chicken. I decided I wanna do the creamy chicken and andouille sausage, because that's one of my son's favorites. So I put that down on my list. I came up with Southwest chicken bowl and buffalo chicken pizza. So I wrote those items down on my list. Then I decided to go over to the Italian sausage. I knew I was going to do the sub rolls because that was an automatic. That's why I buy it most of the time anyway. Baked spaghetti is another favorite of theirs with the Italian sausage. So I went ahead and wrote that down. And then I knew I had that broccoli on hand, and I was going to have quite a bit left, so I decided to do a Italian sausage and broccoli pasta dish for myself for lunch. So I wrote that off on the side and just kind of wrote lunch down, so that way I knew. And then because I had a lot of broccoli, I decided to throw in a couple salads and some grilled veggies. So I have the broccoli that I'll be using for some grilled veggies and some salad. So I wrote that down on the side as well, so I can add that, incorporate it when I figure out the main dishes that I'm going to make. Okay, so with all that done, I now pull out my calendar and I look at the days that people are going to be home, what we got going on, how long it takes to make a dish. So I pick the days that are best. So for instance, let's go to week of September the 5th on Thursday. I decided to do the creamy chicken andouille pasta that day because I knew my son did not have to work. I knew I had nothing going on that day, and that dish does take a little bit of time to make. So I went ahead and plopped that meal on that day right there. And then I moved on to the next dish. And the next dish that I had was the Southwest chicken bowl. So I'm like, okay, let's figure out what day I want to make that. That's something that's quick and easy to do. So I make that on the days where I might have some errands or something to do. So I went ahead and plopped that down on the week of September the 26th on that Tuesday. My son did not have to work that day, and he's the chicken eater, so I made sure I did it that day. And then the buffalo chicken pizza, my son does not care for that, and I knew he would be at the football game on that Friday, so I went ahead and put that down for that Friday, and he usually eats out with his friends, so it's just going to be hubby and I that day. So we're going to do the buffalo chicken pizza, and I'll probably throw a little bit of broccoli on my pizza, so I'll use some of the broccoli. So that's kind of how I pick my days. It's just based on who's going to be here, who's not going to be here, and who eats what. Okay, so you can kind of see how my brain was working with all of that. So now my calendar just has a couple days filled in with meals of the items that I purchased, and on the days that I know certain people will eat certain foods. And I just find it makes it easier for me. This is why I plan like a month ahead of time, because it does take some thought process. I usually take Saturday evening or Sunday morning and sit down and plan this out. And I usually have my son let me know what days he's going to be here. So it does take a little bit of planning. And I found that when I do it weekly, I was not doing it. I would just haphazardly throw stuff on my meal plan, and then I'd change it. This I seem to stick to more often because I put more thought into it, and I only have to do it once a month, not every single week. So it's not like, oh, here we go again, I got a meal plan. This way I can get everything that I need ahead of time for those items that I can do ahead of time. So then what I do is go back now and figure out the rest of the days, who's going to be home, what they eat, and based on what I already have in the freezer or the refrigerator. Or I also look at the sales that go on at the local grocery stores that I shop at. And if there's a really good sale on something, I may say, oh, you know what, this is going to be on sale next week, so I'm just gonna have this, and I put it out towards the end of the month, and then I'll go to the store and pick it up. So I do look at the sales as well. And as I mentioned, the salads, we have salads quite often. So the veggie tray that I'll be having at the party, I will have a lot of leftovers like the celery and things like that. So I'll make stir fries for lunch. Also, we'll use those items for salads. So for instance, I'll have celery for the party, and I'm going to be having pecan crusted chicken salad on the week of the 12th on that Tuesday. That requires celery. So I'll use some of the celery that I have for the veggie tray in that meal. So I do think, about what I'm having, when I'm going to have it, and just kind of incorporate the leftovers. So that is how my thought process is, and I hope that it was easy for you to follow. I was trying to make this as easy as possible. Sometimes I can get a little too talkative, so I hope that really helped. Hey friends, just quickly too, I wanted to hop in here before I really ended this video. When we went to Costco, I picked up this chicken andouille sausage. And as you saw that I do that chicken andouille sausage and chicken pasta dish that I was talking about the first week of September. I buy that in bulk as well. It's really expensive at the grocery store, and this month Costco actually had it for $4 off. So I picked up a couple packages of this, and then I break it down. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 8 links, and it's a 2-pack. So I actually get 4 meals out of that package. So I just wanted to also throw that out there, to always look at the sales. When Costco has the really good deals, when they have a few dollars off of the bulk items too. So keep that in mind as well. Just look for those sales. It's always helpful. So that's kind of how I do my meal planning for the month, and that's the reason why I meal plan for the month. I just find it's a lot easier, though. You know, it does take a little bit of thinking and planning for that day when you do plan for the month, but I just find it easier than trying to do it every single week or not having a meal plan, because then we eat out a lot, or I'm running to the grocery store constantly and spending way more money than I really need to. And do I stick to that every single day? Absolutely not. There are days where something comes up that was not planned and I need to shift some stuff around. So if I didn't even mention this. You may have noticed I don't meal plan on the weekends. Weekends we are usually running all the time. So if I meal planned for something, took it out of the freezer, and I didn't get a chance to use it that day that I had planned, I will just save it and make that meal for the weekend, because I have Saturday and Sunday both to do it. So that is another reason why I don't meal plan on the weekend, because sometimes at least once a week, I'd say at least maybe 2-3 times a month, my meal plan does change on a specific day because something came up that was, you know, unforeseeable, and I needed to change it. So I am flexible. You know, I'm not stuck to it, gotta do this, but it does truly help me out. It makes it a lot easier, especially on those days when I have a lot going on and I just need to quickly get the meal on the table. I just make sure that I have everything that I need ahead of time. It's already out and thawed, and I know it's an easy meal for that day. So it really does make it easy. So friends, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If there's any questions or if I wasn't clear on something, go ahead and leave it in the comment section. So my brain gets all kind of jumbled up a lot of times, and sometimes I ramble on, and it's hard when I'm just like talking to you and I'm not getting, you know, having a conversation to answer the questions back. So sometimes it's a little hard to express what I'm trying to say. So if there's any confusion, any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer all those questions for you. I do have my meal plan every month. I post it on my Facebook, my Instagram, my Twitter, Pinterest, and I also put it on the community tab on my YouTube channel as well. So you will always see my monthly meal plans. So if you haven't subscribed to any of those social media sites, make sure you go over and subscribe to all of them, because I always put my meal plan on there. So again, any questions, leave them in the comments. I will answer the best that I can. So friends, thanks so much for joining me. I do appreciate it, and I will catch up with you next time. Bye.